All right, so today I'm going to show you how to get our book set up to be our end of the year memory alphabet book. And in order to do this, you will be getting a book from me. The book is a square, already ready to publish book, and it is a 8-inch by 8-inch square. So if you're doing this at home and want to do the same thing, it's an 8-inch by 8-inch paper book. And in order to do these first few steps, you're going to need a pencil and a ruler also. These are just the books that I used, and they have 8 sheets, which end up with 16 pieces of paper front and back. So we have to figure out a way in order to fit the whole alphabet, because there's more than 16 pages or 16 letters in the alphabet, obviously. So our very first page, we're going to make sure it's in front of us. I have the edge to my left. Make sure your edge with the staples is to the left. That's the way that we always open up books. This is going to end up being our cover. We're going to skip the cover part for right now. We'll come back to it later. So you have your cover, then open the page. Make sure that the pages are not sticking together. This is getting your book ready. So if you get anything messed up on this part, it's going to be very hard to go back, just because we're going to be doing some solid writing with the pencil, and it'll just be a lot of erasing. We can fix it, but it'll be a lot of erasing. So when you open it up, I want you to use your pencil and lightly, because eventually you're going to be erasing this, lightly in the bottom corner of the very first page, you're going to write cover page. So I wrote cover page in the corner right here, so you can see right there it says cover page, so that I remember from my graphic organizer that helped me set it up that that's where this page is going to go. Then I'm going to turn the page to the next page, and what we need to do is split all of the rest of the pages up into 2 sections. So we're going to be using our ruler, and we're going to be using our pencil in order to do this next part. And I'll show you what that looks like. So this is my example. It says cover page right there. And then on the next page, I already start my alphabet, and you can see the line going down each of these pages. So on the first page, we're leaving it whole, but starting on the back of that first page, we're going to start out by measuring and drawing lines. So you start out, find the 4 inches on your ruler. You'll line your ruler up with the edge of the page. Make a dot at the top of your page where the 4 inches is, and then make a dot towards the bottom where the 4 inches is. So right now, all that I have done is 2 dots. I have one right here, and I have one right here. So go ahead and do that. Pause the video and make those dots. Okay, now that you have your dots made, you are going to draw a line from the top of the page to the bottom of the page by lining up your ruler with those dots. So on mine, I have the 2 dots. I'm drawing a line from the top one to the bottom. So here's what it looks like with those 2 there. So I have 2 sides, they're equal. My line is straight because I ran from this top dot up here to one down here. You can't even see it because my line went over it, which is great. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, the other page. You measure 4 inches in. Make sure you're using inches, not centimeters. 4 inches in would be right here on the top, and then right here on the bottom. You're going to do that same thing, and you are going to measure your line all the way down and make sure that it's straight. So there's my straight line on this page. Okay, I want you to pause the video at this point, and you are going to do this all the way through the rest of the book. You do not need to do it on the thicker cardboard cover on the back. You just need to do it all the way through the last paper page. When you finish that, push play on your video again. All right, so now that you have done that, you have your cover page on the front, and then you have your lines throughout the rest of your book. We're going to start labeling the rest of the sections, the pages on here. So when you have your book down in front of you, the very first rectangle that you have is going to be your A. So start out by just lightly, again, this will be erased later, lightly write an A in the corner right here. So I did that on my first one, and the one next to it, you're going to write a B, and then a C, and then a D. Once you do your D, I want you to turn the page and continue through the rest of the alphabet until you get to Z. When you get to Z, you will have some extra pages. Don't panic. We have something for those pages. So once you do the Z, I want you to push play again. So pause the video, go through the rest of the alphabet, and do your Z. Go all the way through Z. All right, so now you're pushing play again, and you have yours all the way through Z. My last ones are Y and Z. On the next page, we're going to write a couple of different things. The first next rectangle, so the one next to the Z, says favorite grade. So you're going to write favorite grade right there in the next box. You can see it's next to the box that says Z. So go ahead, pause the video, write favorite grade. Okay, now that you have favorite grade written down, you're going to write favorite field trip. And this field trip is going to be one that you're only going to write about here. You're not going to write about it anywhere else. So make sure that you add some nice detail when you get to the point of writing. You're not writing yet. But your favorite field trip from elementary school. You've been on a lot. I know that some of you did Eagle Bluff and got to stay overnight and do all of that fun stuff. So some of you I think are going to like that. Some of you maybe liked our physics field trip. So write your favorite field trip right there. Pause the video, write that, so you have favorite grade and then favorite field trip. Then you're going to turn the page, and this next one is going to be favorite memory. And then we have looking forward to. Looking forward to the most. I wrote the most on the bottom of mine. You can just write looking forward to on yours because remember all of these parts will be erased eventually. So go ahead, pause your video and finish that up and then push play again. Okay, once you have that written down, what you have is your entire layout of your book. Now, the next part is kind of important. You're going to be using your rough draft that we did to do the rest of this. So starting with your rough draft, you're going to go through this with pencil. We'll come back into it with a pen later on to do the final part, but first you're just going to get all of your words down, and I will explain that to the whole class in a little bit, but just so you know what we are coming to. So good job getting your book ready.